What's going on, ladies and DeGents? Welcome back to a brand new NFL season 2025 Distinguished DeGents season number 4, I think is what we're on right now. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Distinguished DeGents. I'm Big Bucks of Beta. Joining me as always, it's my co-host, it's my partner in gambling. It's the one and only Jason Money Mansman. Mansman, this 2025 season snuck up on me out of nowhere. We were literally just getting over the draft for our fantasy league, and we were like, yeah, I guess we got to get the show rolling again. I don't think we have time to do a futures episode, but next thing you know, I was like, oh shit, it's Labor Day. So happy Labor Day, DeGents, by the way. But yeah, this one really snuck up on me, man. Are you getting hyped or what's the deal?
Yeah, happy Labor Day. I'm excited. We're T minus 3 days away from NFL kickoff. It came up quick. Obviously, as you know, buddy, we got a lot going on in terms of life. So
Yeah.
honestly, I'm just happy that we were able to find a little bit of time to still do this every week. Or
Yeah.
hopefully every week, and it'll be fun as always.
As always, we're gonna have a good time. Yeah, life is definitely getting very busy at the Abeta household. Um, Breaking news: we will have one new addition to the family coming in February. Due on Super Bowl weekend will be baby girl Abeta. So that is why we are actually going to cut the show down to just once a week. We're just going to give out our takes. We're not going to do any recap episodes anymore. That'll probably be more of an internal thing between me and Money Management. But I think the gist of this is that we need to give you the picks. We need to go over the games, and stewing and crying over lost bets, seeing what we learned. It's kind of best kept in house, I think.
Yeah, exactly, buddy. I think, and I know it's hard for us because we like to drone on and on, but I think this year, thankfully, circumstances are going to make it where it's really get in, give the pick, give the reason why, get out. 3 to 5 minutes sort of weekly recap and just keep things moving. And honestly, I plan my bets this year. I know the past couple years it's been a lot of bets, a lot of volume. I'm really trying to pare it down to where it's okay, what are my 3 or 4 best bets of the week that I really like? Let me put some more scratch on them. And then hopefully I hit those and make more money as opposed to, 15, 20 different bets every week and smaller increments and basically hoping that I want to go back to actually what the type of bets I was making when I started my career, which was less volume, more just what I really felt good about. And I think we'll probably do best. We still have our contest. I
Yes.
also plan in the next couple of days to sign up for my yearly contest as I've been yearly survivor, my yearly picks contest as well. So still going to do that, but should be a good
Yeah,
time. Should be good.
I too have joined the yearly survivor pool on DK. I have also joined the yearly contest pick'em. Finally bit the bullet on that. So we'll give out our best picks. We are doing the Caser bet once again, folks. We're doing it through the Sleeper app. Me and Money Mansman each week going through the spread picks. Winner takes all. Winner gets the case of beer of their choice. So that'll keep us competitive as well in house. Um, yeah, otherwise, as far as my betting strategies, very similar sentiments to what you said. It's going to be just bet what I like. And then I think with the remainder, I'm going to go volume heavy on that. But I think my problem last year was not only did I go volume heavy, I went volume heavy on like similar things. Like I would bet, for example, I would bet Green Bay -6. I would then go and bet them on a money line parlay, or I would bet them in a teaser with 2 other legs, not realizing I just made 4 bets and it's got the same leg in one shape or another. And if it goes terribly wrong, well, not only am I out 1 bet, I'm out 4 bets. And that's where like a lot of the bad, like, and it was, when it hit, it was profitable, but the minute that lost, it was usually more rough week than it really needed to be. So I think it's just going to be really focusing on what do I really, really like, dropping the change on that, and then with the volume, actually spreading it out across the league. There was a lot of games I missed out on that I really liked because I put change elsewhere. And I think if I had just focused a little more, realized what I was betting on, probably could have made a difference.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And definitely you'll see. I want to become a little bit more of a gut player than I was. I think the stats are nice, but it's very easy to get lost in the statistics. And definitely think that happened last year. What I'm going to do today for these purposes, obviously we missed the futures bet. We didn't do our future episode. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sneak a couple of futures that I liked. Really, I just focused on like team specific and like division stuff. So I'll sneak a couple of those during this episode, but
Okay.
it'll be a good one. It's the first one of the year, but we also want to try and practice what we preach and keep it truncated as much as we can.
Yeah, not to mention we got 16 games to go through week 1, multiple days too at that. I mean, So, I mean, some of these games we really had to hop on first. Some of these we have until Sunday, so we can always readjust later. But, Mansman, any off-season news you want to bring up? Anything that you think is going to majorly change how you handicap moving forward? I know there's a lot of different off-season signings. I know the Micah Parsons trade, which I'm going to get into later, but I mean, is there anything breaking that like you think got swept under the rug or something we really need to focus on for this upcoming season?
My big thing, what I'm curious to see, a lot of teams with new quarterbacks, and you're seeing it more and more, and you didn't used to see it in the NFL a lot. Really curious, especially the first 4 weeks of the season, to see what that looks like. And I think that's going to be very interesting because we got a lot of teams with some new quarterbacks, and you don't often have that many. So it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. Just J.J. McCarthy with the Vikings, Sam Darnold with the Seahawks. You're looking at Geno Smith moving to the Raiders.
Yep, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones. You have Cam
my
Ward.
God. Cam Ward, Tennessee. You've got the Jets and the Steelers coming up.
Yeah,
the Justin Fields.
Steelers. Russell Wilson with the Giants. Spencer Rattler with the Saints. Although maybe they should have a different quarterback.
Maybe
the return of Joe Flacco in Cleveland. I mean,
that's
how many? What is that? Like 10 teams?
That's about 10 teams right there. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy for an NFL season. It's I think I'm going to have a couple of surprises for you.
I think today. I'm gonna be full of surprises as well for you. Oh, speaking of surprises, yeah, this is a DGent rule. So distinguished DGents rule. We're gonna call it number 3, I think. If you lose your purse or if you go real negative during a betting spree, you got to catch fire. This is cheap ass cinnamon whiskey. Not meant to be good. Why am I doing this, Mansman? Before we even really kick off the NFL Sunday, well, college football week 1 was this past weekend.
Tough week.
Had Ohio State. That was literally the only bet I hit. Unfortunately, parlayed that with an over. Wasn't even remotely close. Missed on Baylor. Missed on Notre Dame on that tight game last night. So it was just rough. Down 10 units just from college football. It was not my day. You're going to win some. You are going to lose some. Unfortunately, when you lose this bad, you got to catch fire.
Yeah. I was I don't have my gold with me, but I was up 24 units at the poker table. So
hey, there you go. We'll save a gold slugger for you later.
Yeah.
Well, again, I should have had a gold for when I came back from Atlantic City over the off season. Went full DGent. Went about. I was gonna say I don't even know what the unit size would be at this point. We'll just say 20 units on preseason football while I was at Caesars Atlantic. Pretty much hit all but one bet. So literally paid off the rest of the vacation. Came back, pocketed what I took out. Got to say that was a good day at the office, but.
Yeah, there you go.
Here's the many more.
Absolutely. All
right. As always on the show, we present the odds on FanDuel. Odds are subject to change. Lines are subject to change. Make sure you gamble responsibly, folks, and call 1-800-GAMBLER if you have to. Big F. All right,
buddy. Here we go. Our first big test. Let's see how quickly we can get to these games.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. First up is the Thursday night football season kickoff. It's the Philadelphia Eagles, reigning defending Super Bowl champions, laying 7.5, minus 400 on the money line. They are hosting their division rival, the Dallas Cowboys, catching 7.5 plus 315 on the money line. Over under is 47.5. With the trade of Micah Parsons kind of adjusting the line slightly, Eagles are still getting 81% of the money and 70% of the bets on the spread, according to FanDuel statistics. Money Mansman, am I going first, or do you want me to defer to you?
You said you had some stuff on Micah Parsons, so why don't you kick things off?
Sure. Yeah, like, here was my thing. Before I even evaluated the game itself, this is my personal breakdown of, like, what I believe makes a good team and whether this team will be successful or whether there's cause for concern. And this is really just evaluating the quote unquote genius of Jerry Jones. So rule number one is you need a competent owner. Massive up for massive debate with Jerry Jones, especially as he gets older. I'll get into that in a little bit later. Rule number two is you need a successful head coach. Well, Dallas just fired Mike McCarthy. They hired Brian Schottenheimer, who was the offensive coordinator the last 2 years under boring-ass McCarthy. But overall, he does have 25 years of NFL experience, which I don't think is for nothing. So, to be determined, like coin flip. Rule number three is you need a serviceable quarterback with a good enough defense. Now, jumping back to Jerry Jones in that debate, it kind of goes hand in hand. So, you look at the salary cap. Jerry just paid a $129 million extension on top of the original $95 million guaranteed for Dak Prescott. So $224 million, $250 million to Dak Prescott for a serviceable quarterback. Weird, but okay. He pays his star wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb, $136 million contract, of which 67 was guaranteed. About right for the market. CeeDee Lamb's worth his money. I think that's a good sign. This is where I get a little suspect. Trevon Diggs, cornerback, $97 million, $33 million guaranteed. Deron Bland, 4 years, $92 million, $50 guaranteed. So we're already looking at, like, just on those four players, you're encroaching upwards of $450 million. You're almost at $500 million on four players. Don't know if that's competent ownership, unless all four of those guys are elite studs in their positions, which I would say for 3 out of those 4, the answer is no. And then you have to consider he had one of the top 3 edge rushers in this league, dreamt of being a Dallas Cowboy, and you gave him up for 2 first-round picks. Not consecutive, like 26 and 27. And a 29-year-old Kenny Clark, who's 3 years older and has about half the lifespan left, with 17 and a half less sacks in more than twice the amount of games. But he's only costing you $3 million. I don't know where, like, this would equate to competent ownership on any team, forgetting the Cowboys. So, like, I don't think Dak's that competent of a quarterback. He's competent enough, but I don't think he has the good enough defense. I don't think signing Trevon Diggs and Deron Bland is going to save your franchise on their own. I don't think this makes them a Super Bowl contender. I think if you get rid of Micah Parsons, you're no longer a playoff contender in my eyes. Your defense last year, even with Micah, bottom 5 in yards per game, second to last in points allowed per game, 28th in rushing yards allowed. And this is a team who just beat the piss out of Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. They have the best running back in the league in Saquon Barkley. They have a coaching department that is honestly, I think, light years ahead of where Dallas is right now, even with Schottenheimer's experience. And this Eagles defense still has one of the top 5 defenses from last year. And again, even with Micah, they only beat the Eagles once when Jalen Hurts was quarterback. And Hurts is undefeated at home straight up in ATS against Dallas. They're 4-1 straight up on Thursday Night Football. This to me is a smash spot for the Eagles minus 7.5. I just don't it could be a close first half, but I just think the Eagles will take the reins and they're just going to bully them all into the third and fourth quarter. So my pick is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I don't have that much on this one. I don't have a great feeling about it, but I think Eagles at home, think about what's consistent. Offensive line, defensive line, running the football. That's what I'm banking this game on. I think the Eagles are just going to be too much in this particular spot. Dallas is one of those weird teams because they had a lot of injuries on defense last year. They were 7-10. You kind of could see maybe Dallas could potentially, like in 2023, they were good. 2024, they weren't good. Could they have a bounce back year? Potentially, but I don't like them in this spot. I think the Eagles are going to be too much. I could really see Dallas's offense being pretty stymied. I actually like the under for this game. If I had to choose, I could just see the Eagles grinding that football out, running the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage. And I could see Dallas kind of getting stymied first game of the year. Yeah, I like the Eagles at home as well, though. Eagles 7.5 would be my pick, too.
See, I like the 7.5, and that's why I go towards the over. The way I see it, this could be an Eagles blowout. Or if Dak Prescott is going to keep this close, if this is a close first half game, this could be 17-14, 21-14, 21-17 by halftime. And I just think by third quarter, we're already encroaching the over. And then on the flip side, too, if Dak lays an egg and this Cowboys team is really bad under Schottenheimer, we've known the Eagles last year, they threw 40-50 on their own. That was not unheard of. I mean, in the NFC Championship, they threw 55 on Washington. So, and the defense, I mean, this could be pick six city. This could be fumbles. I think this is going to be massive Eagles blowout personally. But even if I'm wrong, I think what that means is that Dallas will show up and they'll keep this competitive. It won't be a defensive game at that point.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And the Micah Parsons trade, I mean, I don't know. On the one hand, I think Dallas trading him for picks. Could the Cowboys know something we don't? Are they thinking that maybe their team's not going to be that great this year? Or was he just a headache that they needed to get rid of? Time will tell, but it's normally you always want to shy away from those teams that make the big trades like this just because you're wondering, do they know something we don't?
This is my personal opinion on the whole trade. And I kind of alluded to it earlier. You need a quarterback, obviously. You want to stick with Dak. I don't agree with it, but I get it. You have to sign your number one wide receiver. That made sense. I wouldn't have signed Deron Bland or Trevon Diggs to as big of a contract as they got. I don't know what they really did to deserve said big contract. I could be wrong. But with all that money they spent, they couldn't have just worked out a deal with Micah Parsons to keep one of the top 3 edge rushers in the league. Your big captain on the defensive side. Imagine if they God, I'm trying to think of DeMarcus Ware. Imagine if DeMarcus Ware, Dallas Cowboys legend, they just don't sign him and then they trade him to someone like Denver for 2 first-round picks in the height of his career. That's what makes it so asinine to me. That's what I don't like. You're basically saying if you're the Cowboys, you're going to make up Micah Parsons within 2 years. And they better be right. Because if not, this trade is going to be one of those cool, franchise defining trades where if it works, Jerry looks like a genius. But if it doesn't work, he's going to be the biggest dumbass yet again.
True.
So we'll see. But we're moving on. We got a Friday game. I think it's on Peacock only, live in Brazil. Sao Paulo. I'm trying to see if I can pull the stadium up. But it's the Kansas City Chiefs as the designated home team hosting the Los Angeles Chargers at Arena Corinthians in Sao Paulo. Chiefs are -3, -168 on the money line. Chargers +140. Over-unders at 45.5. The Chiefs are still favored on this money on the spread at 69%, and they're getting 61% of the bets. So 60-40 split there. Mansman, I know you love these division matchups, especially this early in the season. Mansman, give us what you got on this one.
Yeah, division matchup in Brazil to start the year. I'm trying to remember. I mean, if I remember correctly from the Eagles Packers, this was again another game where the offensive. Trying to remember what happened in the Eagles Packers game.
It basically was like it was a shootout back and forth almost between Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts, and it felt more like it honestly felt like to me more of a preseason game, but it was with all the starters and none of the defense was really trying to get hurt.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. It's a weird game. Here's what I'll say, and I said I was going to sprinkle in a little futures. I actually think Kansas City is due for a down year, to tell you the truth. I think they're due for a down year. Super Bowl hangover. They've won a bunch of years in a row. The Chargers are getting better. Denver's getting better. This could finally be the year that the Chiefs' dominance ends. I actually think that the Ravens and Bills are probably the two best teams in the AFC. I could actually see them duking it out this year for the AFC Championship. Maybe the Bengals will have something to say about that if they have a resurgence. But I really this is a tough one. I feel like the Chargers always play close in this spot, but they always lose. I think Kansas City's won like the last 5 or 6 in a row against the Chargers now. I don't know. My gut says Chargers +3 is the play here, and that this is going to be like a weird 2-point game. Chargers could very well win outright. I don't know. I just got a weird feeling that the Chiefs coming off the Super Bowl L, that maybe this is the year that things regress. They won a lot of close games last year. I don't know if that's sustainable. I would pick the Chiefs to go back. Tough game. I don't like that it's in Brazil. I would have liked it if it was in LA, to tell you the truth, a little better. But
right.
I got to go with my gut. I guess I got to go Chargers +3. Tough play, though.
So I'll give you a recap of last year's narratives. Division road favorites, they won outright at the Chargers are the home team, by the way. The Chiefs are the road team. So division road favorites, they won outright at a 75% rate, but they only covered about 50% of the time. And I'm like you, because of this being in Brazil, I'm just not entirely sure what to make of it here. The only real narrative I can kind of lean on in this is that it is a neutral site game, and it's usually safer to just bet the favorites. Last year, I think it went about 5-1 or 6-1.
Yeah.
The only exception was that Germany game where Carolina beat Daniel Jones and the Giants, if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
And again, I agree with you. I think the Chiefs are overdue for a Super Bowl hangover type year. Suspension of Rashee Rice. Doesn't seem like they know what they want to do at running back yet between Isaiah Pacheco. And then I think they drafted a rookie too. So I'm all over the place here with this game. I wanted to be at the Chargers, but my heart said no. Chiefs have won now 7 straight against the Chargers. I don't think Andy Reid has lost all but 3 games against the Chargers ever since he became the head coach. Like when I look through the numbers, and with a spread of 3 in this Chiefs team, I'd rather lay it because I think the Chiefs will ultimately find a way to win one way or another. And I'd rather lose that way than have to hang on to hope that the Chargers cover a 3. When in my heart of hearts, I just think they're going to lose no matter what. So usually that's not a good side you want to be on if you're trying to play the points. Usually you want to play a team that you think can actually win, like Money Management was just mentioning. Yeah, with that said, I don't know. Like 5 of the last 6 went under, but this is the Brazil game where last year the over got hit by halftime. I think it was. This Chiefs era that we're currently living through, they're more focused on defense than it really seems than Mahomes dropping 400 yards and dropping 40 pieces on the opposing defense. I think with Harbaugh too, like he's going to be looking at stopping the Chiefs and focusing on his defensive end. So I got under 45 and a half here in this game, but could be wrong. Not an under of the week by any means, but like I got Chiefs by 3 and I got under 45 in a close game.
Yeah, tough one. My only fear is the last, and we talked about it, the last iteration in Brazil was a shootout, and you just wonder if is it going to be the defense is afraid to get hurt and just teams running up and down the field. For that reason, I might lean over, but I don't really have a play on the over.
Gotcha. We're head to head on the freaking over under so far this year, but we're doing all right. All right, now we're back into the final Sunday slate. Back to normalcy. Another division matchup. It's the New York Giants with the new quarterback Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited, is traveling to our home state of Maryland to take on the Washington Commanders, a.k.a. the Commies, a.k.a. the football team, a.k.a.
Washington Redskins, go f*** yourself.
So, with that said, they're going up against the Commies. Commies are 6.5 point favorites, minus 260. Giants are plus 250 money line underdogs. The over-under is 45.5. Washington getting 63% of the money. They're only getting 58% of the bets. Mansman, so we're getting about a 50-50 ticket split, but the money going to Washington. Translate that for the common viewer.
Say it one more time. I think I missed it.
Yeah, so Washington's getting like 58% of the tickets, but they're getting 63% of the money.
So what that means is that the sharper players, the higher money players are more likely than not on Washington, and you have some recreational players who are looking at the G-men here, which actually makes sense. But
so we call this a pros versus Joes type of matchup here.
A little bit. It's a light split, but there's a little bit of difference between the public and the money.
Yeah. All right, Mansman, it's my go. Geez, I don't even think I. No, I didn't even download. That's a shame. But
frosty right now, by the way.
Damn, that catch fire already got to me. Okay, this is going to be my fade of the week. I'm going on the Joe side here, and I'm taking the G-Men plus 6.5. I'm going to forewarn people, though, before I speak any further, that this is statistically going to be a terrible bet to make. And that's why I'm not even, like, that confident on this. But I was looking for a big team to fade week 1 and looking at this line and just looking at this new Giants team, I think 6.5 is just way too much. But the reason this is a bad bet, betting on the G-Men on the road is only a 30% hit in the last 2 seasons under Dayball. They failed to cover 5 straight on the road. Now, we talked about betting division road favorites, but we have a division road underdog. That only comes in at a 45% clip ATS since last season. It was actually less on the money line. But I look at the Commanders' success last year, and the Commanders are like my team to fade this year in terms of futures. They went 12-7-1 ATS, 7-2 ATS at home. Some of those wins were like crazy playoff games, one against the Lions. They had the crazy win against Tampa Bay in the wild card. I remember watching Jaden Daniels, though, barely beating Daniel Jones in week 1 last year. I remember he almost lost to the Chicago Bears if it wasn't for that Hail Mary. And then on the flip side, they gave up a 24-14 lead the week after to Pittsburgh on the road against, that's right, Russell Wilson. And don't forget the 5 touchdown fourth quarter game they had against Dallas, and they lost to Cooper Rush as 10.5-point favorites. They win a very tight game late in the season, week 16 against Philly. They had another tight game against Atlanta the week after in overtime to Michael Penix. I mean, my point is this Commanders team last year, they played a lot of close football, and a lot of it was inconsistent against suspect teams. And I just think luck was a major factor for this team. And I look at the Giants. I think they're going to be a lot better under Russ. I'm not saying Russ is like the Lord and Savior of New Jersey, but I think he's better than Daniel Jones. I think they had a solid offense built around the quarterback for Jones to succeed, and I just think it goes to show how bad he was. But they have Tyrone Tracy. They got Cam Scatabo now at running back. They have Malik Neighbors at wide receiver still. This could be a very quiet 8-9, 9-8 team moving into the season. I think Washington is due for a serious regression. So the Redskins are my fade of the week. I am going with the Giants plus 6.5.
Love the pick. I follow you there. This is one of those weird things where the Giants always seem to play Washington close. Like even last year, as bad as the Giants were, they lost by 3 points, and I think it was 3 points in Washington, 5 points at home. So 2 close games. And, you make a good point. Washington's definitely one of my candidates for a regression. Whenever a team sort of takes the league by storm, I think they were 7th in ATS last year, meaning that, the betting lines weren't necessarily against them. I'm thinking that this year is going to be a little different. They're going to get more respect. You see they're getting more respect opening up as a 6.5-point favorite against the Giants this year. And I think the Giants are a better team. I don't think they're going to be good by any means, but I think they can keep it close. I could see this being a 5 to 6 point game here, and that gets you the cover. So I'm in agreement with you. I think eventually it's only a matter of time before we see Jackson Dart, the Giants rookie. I don't think we're going to see him in this game. Russell Wilson, he'll do just enough to keep it close. So I'm in agreement. Giants plus 6.5 as well. I actually really like that you made it the fade of the week. I like that. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I can't get behind betting this Commies team at 6.5. That's really, and don't get me wrong. Like I think if I had to pick a winner, I would go Washington to win the game. But how many games have we seen Washington come from behind at the third or fourth quarter where they were losing by 2 scores? And then Jaden Daniels leads them to a miraculous victory. I saw it way too many times last season. And I think with Russell Wilson, he has that exact same capability where if Washington has a lead, I've seen Russ get within 1 or 2 scores and keep it real close to the end. So I just think at 6.5, that crazy 6.5 number, I could see someone going for 2 and keep it there. Like it's just one of those weird things. I got over 45.5 in the game real quick. And it's only because I think Russ will perform. I think he has enough weapons to keep it close. And again, 5 touchdowns in the fourth quarter last year. I mean, anything's possible with Washington. Their defense is still dreadful.
Yeah, I don't fault you there. I could see it being a close game, and in a close game, I think you always lean to the over. I do think the Giants' defense is probably going to be the strength of that team. So that's the one sort of concern. But I'm with you there. I think that if I have to choose, I'm going over here.
Yeah. All right, next up, it's the first non-conference game of the year. We have the Carolina Panthers and the return of Bryce Young. They're catching 3.5 points plus 152 on the money line. They are going not that far south. They're going to Jacksonville to take on Trevor Lawrence, a new head coach, Coach Liam Cohen. 3.5 point favorites now, minus 180 on the money line. Over under is 46.5. Jags are getting 70% of the money, 60% of the tickets. You know me in these non-conference games. I have opinions, but I got to get yours first. It is your turn. So, Mansman, what do you got?
Yeah, this is one I struggled with because everything you've heard is that Carolina is supposed to be better. Although, I don't know, they did a lot better when the season was over. And I don't know, that doesn't always translate into success to start the year. Jacksonville, on the other hand, I mean, this is really, like, honestly, this is a pass game for me. This is one I want to watch just because I don't know what to expect. I think Jacksonville's coaching is probably going to be better. Trevor Lawrence hasn't really made the leap that I would expect him to make. This being his, fourth or fifth year in the league. He's been a disappointment. I don't know. Jacksonville, it's weird. They're one of those teams that you look up and you feel like they should be better, and they're not. I can't back them as 3.5-point favorites in this game. I can't get to doing it. They were 4-13 last year. They had a terrible year. The new coach, first game. They are at home, which I really would have preferred. I actually would have preferred this to be in Carolina with Carolina as a pick 'em, because then I probably feel better about Carolina. This is a tough one. This is a pass for me. But I think based on the number, if you're getting more than a field goal, I have no faith in this Jacksonville team to win this game by a touchdown, touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 10 points. I think I'd have to see what Carolina could do. If I had to play it, I'm going Carolina plus the points here.
So for me, I'm not playing this either. I couldn't really get a good feel, but no matter what handicap I feel like I give in favor of Carolina, the longitudinal study just proves that betting money on the Panthers is going to result in a deficit. You'll eventually lose your bankroll. You'll eventually catch fire. Not sponsored, just a fan. Look, no matter what statistical anomalies I'll find, the Panthers just are never a smart bet. Even with the resurgence of Bryce Young last year, I don't remember them really winning a lot of games either. And I remember they still had a top 5 pick. Although I think that may have been from a trade. I don't know. It just, I could say the Jags have not won 7 of their last 8 against the NFC. But what was that one win? Oh, the Panthers, they shut them out 26-0.
Yeah.
I could say NFC teams on the road against the AFC, they went 20-12 straight up. But Carolina went 1-3 in that same span. So they were responsible for a quarter of those losses. And the one win, by the way, they had against the AFC, that was Andy Dalton against the Raiders. That wasn't Bryce Young. So that's right. Bryce Young still has not beaten an AFC opponent except for that one time against the Texans, and that was it. And I just don't – I want to bet Carolina in this spot. I want to fade the Jags. But, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, and, I guess you won't get fooled again, but you're going to take all my money? No, thank you. I'm going with the Jags.
I can't fault you. I could fault you either way. That's a tough game.
Yeah, not the best. What do you got making the over-under, though, on this one at 46.5?
This shows you where I am in this game. I'm thinking under. It's 2 disappointing quarterbacks who, I don't know, man. I've heard really Carolina probably is the team you should be fading, because I've heard a lot of sharp people talking about Carolina should be better. Bryce Young's making strides. I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to score 17 points, and this could be a 20-17 game. That's what this smells like to me. I'm going under. 2 disappointing quarterbacks to start the year. I expect this to be one of the more boring games of the week 1 slate.
Let me give you some real quick numbers for the Carolina Panthers, because I know you like some stats. Offensive DVOA, 24th, minus 11.6%. Defensive DVOA, 19.2. They were 32nd last in the league. Defensive passing DVOA, they were 24.5. They were 31st. They were statistically the worst DVOA team in the league last year. So I don't know where the Sharps are this team should be better. this team is like one player away. Like, no, they're not. They are like bottom of the barrel still. And again, I think two things can be true. I think Bryce Young did perform better last year. They played a lot of close games. We're betting on them at high spreads of like 7 or more was profitable, but you're betting on a team to play close and potentially squeak one in. I don't know if they do that here in this game. Like, not in this spot. Like, maybe next week we'll see, but not this week. All right, next up, we have I don't know what the hell you call this. It's a rivalry game. I don't know if it's a the revenge game. I know it'll be one of our 4 on the quad box, but it's the Pittsburgh Steelers with new quarterback Aaron Rodgers traveling as 2.5-point favorites, minus 144 on the money line. They're going back to East Rutherford to take on the former New York Jets team of Aaron Rodgers. The Jets are plus 2.5, plus 122 on the money line. The over-under is the lowest in this week, 37.5. Pittsburgh getting all the money, 73% and 68% of the tickets. Jesus Christ. This has to be one of the 4 because I think this game is going to be such a shit show.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm hosting NFL Week 1, and if our buddy, the fake Steelers fan who wore what the hell is his name? Oh my God, the Washington quarterback. I forgot.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, yeah, who wore a Jaden Daniels jersey to the fantasy draft party. If the fake Steelers fan shows up, we'll have to put this on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll have the fake Lamar Jackson fan too in the house for that, aka the commissioner. Okay, so here's the good news. The only offseason drama was Aaron Rodgers was when he was going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers, not when or not if, because he wasn't going to retire. I knew that. I think everybody knew that. There really wasn't too much in the media with him this year. Got a nice little revenge spot here, but you also have the Jets, who also is in a weird revenge quarterback spot against the Steelers because he was doing well and then got benched for Russell Wilson, which looked good at first and then ended in disaster. Now he gets a chance at redemption with the Jets. If my numbers look right, actually, wait, that is both previous Pittsburgh Steelers quarterbacks now play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Isn't that ironic? Here's the numbers, though. The Steelers have lost 4 straight as favorites against the AFC East. And Justin Fields went 2-1 against the AFC North last year. I think the Steelers are the better coach team still. I don't like betting on Robert Saleh. The Steelers still have the better defense, in my opinion.
Well, thankfully, Robert Saleh is gone, so you won't have to worry about Robert Saleh.
Oh, that's right. Did he leave or get fired?
Yeah, he got fired last year. Aaron Glenn is.
Oh, that's right. It is Aaron Glenn. I totally forgot. Robert Saleh did get fired midseason. How did I forget that? That's a damn shame. Yeah, the Steelers have won 4 of their last 5 as road favorites, which I think is the kicker for me. So, not confident, but I'm taking Pittsburgh in this spot. New head coach debut is usually a spot I want to fade, although this one I could be wrong. I think this one the Jets have a fair shot. I think if Justin Fields performs to expectations, this game's going to be a lot closer than we think.
Could be close. Again, new coach, first game. Aaron Rodgers back. I don't know. I just think when in doubt, coach quarterback. And who do I like more, Tomlin Rodgers or Fields Glenn? I'm going to take Rodgers Tomlin in the first game. Small favorite. I think Pittsburgh gets the job done. I think the AFC East is going to be weak this year. So I'm really, in pretty much any matchup, I'm going to be looking to fade the AFC East as much as possible. And again, I think the Jets, don't get me wrong, I think Aaron Glenn will be a better coach than maybe some of the other bozos. But this is just this is a patented Aaron Rodgers revenge game, and I don't even think he's going to play that great. I'm expecting, 200 yards, maybe a touchdown, and another rushing one. I think Pittsburgh gets this one. I think Pittsburgh
Aaron,
gets this one pretty easy.
you're about on par with what FanDuel has right now for odds. Listen to this. Aaron Rodgers, his over-under passing yards right now is only 202.5. Over-under 1.5 touchdowns at +1 at 1.5. So if you literally do the money Mansman narrative, which is he gets about over 200 yards, 1 touchdown, +243.
Yeah, that's
Throw the Steelers in there with the spread at 2.5. You got a 6-1 little same game parlay.
well, there you go. There you go. I'll endorse that parlay. You can thank me later.
There we go. Moving on. I got over 37.5 here. I think they're expecting this to be a big, heavy defensive game, and usually in these spots, it's usually the opposite. I think it's one of those like 21-17 breaks the over. And it's going to come down to the end. It could be 24-20 or maybe 23-20. I don't know, like something that low, but also high enough to get over the 30. Especially and I know we don't talk about preseason too much. Like I know some sharp bettors will be like, oh, well, this team was really good in the preseason. I like what they showed me. I scrap all that. I say that was the preseason. Those were third and fourth stringers looking for a job. They were putting their heart and souls out there. That's not going to be the same team we see week 1. If we did that, I mean, you would lose half your bets because, I mean, prime example, the Bills looked like shit how many preseasons in a row. And then they come and just dominate. Broncos are a heavy team. Everybody loves how the Broncos look this preseason. They played scrubs. And behind me, I'm a Broncos fan. Like, I won money on them in the preseason. It was great, but I knew they were playing scrubs, and the Broncos were trying to fucking prove something this year. I don't know if that's going to translate through 18 weeks of the regular season. Well, let's see them beat a real contender. But moving on. We got the Las Vegas Raiders, new quarterback, new coach, Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, +122 road underdog, +2.5, going to Foxborough against the New England Patriots. Drake May and Mike Vrabel laying 2.5 in his season debut as the Patriots head coach. Over-under is 43.5. Mansman, the Patriots are getting 68% of the money and only 56% of the tickets. Can you explain this one to me at all?
Oh yeah, is it my turn to go first? My turn.
I think so. Yeah.
Good. I really, really, really want a piece of the Raiders here. New England is another one that I've been hearing a lot of talking heads. Oh, New England's going to be a sleeper team this year. They're going to be pretty good. I don't think Drake May was all that wonderful last year. To tell you the truth, I know they have a new coach, Mike Vrabel. Got a promising rookie running back who's a Mansman's mauler. And I think this week might be the week they get it done. But, I don't know. I think this is going to be a close matchup. I don't really like the number. New England could still win by like 3 or 4 points here. So that's why it's not my favorite play. But I'm not surprised the Sharps are on this game because if you think about it, like Pete Carroll's a good coach. He has Geno Smith back who knows the system. They're going to have the experience edge in this game. And if you think Genty's going to be a good running back, I don't know about the Raiders defense. That's the problem. I don't know about the Raiders receivers, and I don't know about their defense. So that's the biggest problem in this game. But I would be very careful playing New England in this one, folks, because I am not on the New England Patriots bandwagon. I think they're overrated. And I don't consider them to be a legitimate sleeper team for a playoff spot. I really don't.
Yeah, for the life of me, I cannot understand what this hype around New England is this year. This is like every year, and this isn't New England specific. This is just in general. Every year, it seems like some of the sharps, ESPN, NFL, Vegas, they just throw a team into the wind and just hype them up like they're going to be the next dark horse contender. I mean, 2 years ago, it was the Jets when they had just signed Aaron Rodgers. Like, remember all the narratives that Aaron Rodgers was going to lead the Jets to the playoffs again? They were going to be good. Tore his ACL week 1, 10 minutes in. And then last year, oh my God, Caleb Williams, he's the future of the NFL. The Bears are going to make the playoffs again. The Bears are going to be such a hype team.
yeah.
He ended up being dog shit. And he ended up struggling because of Matt. I will say, I think he struggled under one Matt Eberflus, but I have questions about Caleb Williams just in general. And now this year, it just seems like it's New England where it's like Drake May. Oh, well, now he has a sturdy head coach. They're going to refocus this O-line. He's gonna be a real good head coach. They signed Stephon Diggs, the ghost of Diggs, also coming off of a major injury, and like that's his wide receiver 1. Like, are they just trying to recreate Josh Allen in New England?
The ghost of Stephon Diggs, yeah.
I mean, but seriously though, like, could anybody tell me like what they did with this O-line? Could anyone tell me what they did with the New England Patriots O-line to fix that? Because that was the major problem I noticed. And like, don't get me wrong, I thought Drake May did fine, but he did as good as a rookie quarterback could do in New England. And when Joe Milton took the helm and did better because he was a scrambling quarterback, that was like when I knew Drake May is going to be set up for failure. And I just don't know what Vrabel has really done to really change anything in the New England system for this year. This is the same O-line last year. They allowed 3 sacks a game on average. If I didn't know any better, like, this would be a Chewbacca line, but it is the Raiders. And I mean, the flip side is that the Raiders just aren't much better considering the spot they're in. They're 1-4 straight up in ATS on the road against the AFC East in their last 5. But I think with Geno Smith and Pete Carroll, Geno went 4-1 under his time in Seattle in this spot. Geno now has Amari Cooper as his wide receiver 1, which I know is another age receiver, but I kind of respect that a little more than Diggs. They had that rookie sensation, Ashton Genty, as well. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders here. Not a dog of the week, but I just, for the life of me, I don't know if I want to bet money on New England at home. It just doesn't seem like it makes too much sense right now, unless there's something I'm like majorly missing about this team. I don't see it. I think Max Crosby could get in Drake May's head very quick in this one. And with that said, that's why actually I really like the under, because Geno Smith isn't really known for, like destroying teams. I remember week 1 against Denver, even when they were destroying them, they only put up 26. And that was a close type of game that really was out of hand by the time the last 3 minutes were up. And that's kind of a similar performance I think we could get here. I could see this being like 21-3 going late into the 4th, and then New England gets 1 touchdown to make it like 21-10. To keep it relatively respectful. I don't know. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to take the Raiders.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's tough. I could see New England winning, but I'm not as high on them as other people.
Me neither. All right. Next up, Arizona. 5.5-point favorites, -290. They're on the road. They're traveling to New Orleans against Spencer Rattler. Arizona's getting 88% of the money, 74% of the tickets. Over-under is 42.5. Mansman, I'm going to keep this real quick and brief. I'm not betting on Spencer Rattler. I'm not betting on Kyler Murray either here, but I'm not betting on Spencer Rattler. Kellen Moore is making his head coach debut. No thanks. I'm not betting a debut head coach here. First game ever. Even when the Saints had Dennis Allen, they were only 3-10 straight up and 5-8 as home underdogs. I like the prospect of Chris Olave and Raheem Shaheed coming back. I like Alvin Kamara still, but with Derek Carr, they had a chance. Not a good one, but a chance to win a game. Rattler was so much worse than him last year. I think a lot of people forget how bad Spencer Rattler really was. And I don't like Kyler Murray, but I just think this spot, like, even if he messes up, even if he has a shit game, they could just hand the ball off to James Conner 30 times and they could still win by this cover. So Arizona -5.5.
Yeah, I'll keep this simple too. Best bet Arizona -5.5.
What?
Look, it's real simple. I don't think people know how bad this Saints team's going to be. They haven't realized it yet. They're going to. Now, I'm going against the stats here. New Orleans, 6 straight wins in their season opener. But a lot of those, like you said, were with Carr, where they start off strong and then fade. I just think it's a different year. Spencer Rattler, we know what he is. He's shit. New Orleans defense, not going to be good. Their team is not going to be good. This is the worst team in football, and I think you're going to see it. Arizona isn't great. I don't, but they're a 500 team. And a 500 team that normally beats the piss out of teams like this, Arizona and Kyler Murray are going to get it done. This is going to be a walkover. Cardinals best bet.
Yeah, best bet for money management. Cardinals -5.5.
And I would take the over too, because I think Arizona's putting up a 30 spot in this game.
Whoa. I can look at the team totals real quick.
I think this is a 30 burger. Yeah, I think this is a 30 burger for the Cardinals here.
Arizona's over under 24.5 right now, -106.
I'd go way over. I'd go over.
I'm going to jot that down. I really like that bet. And then Arizona team total 24.5 over. I'm going to write that down for later. I really like that spot as well. I actually, ironically enough, I like the under in this spot. I don't think New Orleans will get a touchdown in this game. I don't think they're going to get a single touchdown in this game. That's how bad I think this is going to go. Oh, boy. All right. Moving on. Back to the AFC North. We got the last divisional matchup for the 1 o'clock. Or no, that's not even true. We have 3 more games in the 1 o'clock slate. Holy shit. All right. Bengals -5.5, -225. They're going up against the Cleveland Brownies. The battle of the Joes. Joe Burrow versus Joe Flacco. Browns +188. Over-under is 47.5. Bengals getting serious money. 84%. 73% of the tickets. Mansman, Battle of the Joes. Who are you taking here?
Oh man, this is so tough. I mean, thinking about it, we've heard that the Bengals are really going to try and make a concerted effort to get the season off stronger. Cincinnati, strangely enough, has actually won 4 of the last 5 against the Brownies, which is surprising because for some reason I had it in my mind that the Browns dominated this matchup, but I guess not. Here's the thing. Under no circumstances can I put money on Cincinnati through like the first 4 weeks of the season. I mean, how many times have we been in this position for the Browns for the Bengals to start off the year slow? It's Joe Flacco. I think Cleveland's defense will be good. Let's pick Cleveland to keep it close. I think Cincinnati could win. 5.5 is too much on the road. Early in the year, we've been here so many times before. I'll go with Flacco and Cleveland, but not. This game scares me.
Oh, boy. I hate myself for this too, but I told myself the minute I saw Joe Flacco get the nod, you're taking the Browns no matter what. I don't know if it's because I'm still bitter about the Denver-Cincy game last year. I don't know if it's because I have questions about Joe Burrow after that quarterbacks documentary on Netflix. Like, I have some serious questions about Burrow. I'm just trying to think that last year they lost week 1 to New England. And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, slow starts. That's the Joe Burrow method. He's lost 4 out of his 5 week 1 starts in his career. like lost outright. And once again, we're asking gamblers to go take 5.5 on them in week 1 when they've barely won in this spot, regardless of who they're playing. This is Cleveland 5.5, and that's about it. That's the only bet I would make. I wouldn't play the money lines either way. I wouldn't even bother playing Cincy money line in a parlay or trying to tease, because that's like you're trapping. I feel like Cincinnati is going to be like survivor killer week 1.
Yeah, when we've seen that before many a time.
Yeah. Now Bengals have won 6 straight as road favorites. I am picking them to win. They did cover 5 of those 6, but Joe Flacco, fresh, back in a system he's familiar with. Decent weapons, too. I mean, he's still got David Njoku. He's still got Jerry Jeudy. They still got Jerome Ford, I think, at the running back position. Like, they're going to be fine. And I think this is going to be a lot more competitive than people anticipate. And the Bengals just notoriously are known to start off slow. So, and that's why I got under 47.5 here. Like, I could see Flacco making mistakes. I could see Burrow making mistakes. Like, I don't know what the interception prop is yet. I don't know if those markets are out, but Joe Burrow interceptions is major money for me in this one.
Yeah, I agree with the under, actually. I think if you like Cleveland, you think that
Plus
the defense.
102.
Ooh, okay, that's a juicy one. I like that bet. I think if you like Cleveland here, you got to think that their defense is going to get some stops and be able to keep Cincinnati's offense in check. So, yeah, I would go under as well.
Okay. All right, we're almost there. Miami and the return of Tua Tagovailoa once again, plus 1.5, minus 102 on the money line. In a pick'em on the road against the Indianapolis Colts, now led by Danny Dimes Jones. Over-unders 46.5. First time that the favorite is not getting the money. The Dolphins, 78% of the money, 73% of the tickets. Mansman, why is this game a pick'em? Can you explain to me why this is a pick'em game with Daniel Jones?
I think a lot of people are down on Miami. I think that's the explanation. A lot of people down on Miami. A lot of people down on their coach. The Tyreek Hill problems, the Tua problems. I'm kind of with you, though. I think I smell where you're going. I don't know, man. Daniel Jones last year would have been one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. I don't know. This feels like a game where it's like the news is bad on one side and the news is sort of decent on the other. And I don't know. The thing that scares me is that all the money's coming in on Miami. So that'd be the one thing that scares me. But who you got in this one?
No, this is a simple argument, and I will elaborate.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
Colts should not be favored at all. This should not be a pick'em. This should be a 2-point swing for Miami. Even with the down arguments, even with everything going on. Actually, you know what? No, forget the Chewbacca. This is my Dolphins week. Give me the Miami Dolphins here. I just don't understand I don't get it. Why is Daniel Jones a favorite in a brand new system with a brand new team? I mean, last year he had more weapons, younger weapons, than he did right now on the Colts team. And he shit the bed with that in New York. I don't understand why. Is Tua really that bad he can't beat Daniel Jones with these odds? I mean, think about it this way. Tua Tagovailoa, when he's healthy and he's starting, they're a playoff team. They are a playoff caliber team. Now, I'm not going to say they win in the playoffs, but you know they're going to get there. I mean, last year in our futures episode, we talked about Dolphins potentially beating the Bills for the division. and then he got hurt, and then it fell to shit. And the Bills do, and they beat up everybody else, and they win the division. What is Daniel Jones' ceiling ever? His highest ceiling ever was a barely scraped by wild card with the Giants, where they beat up Kirk Cousins. And that wasn't even because of what Daniel Jones did. That was what the rest of that Giants team was capable of doing.
Yeah.
I mean,
backup quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts were literally hanging on by a thread last year, and literally Jim Irsay's thread before, his ultimate untimely death. But the Colts have not – listen to this stat, and this will change your mind. The Colts have not won a Week 1 matchup since 2013.
Jesus.
When they played Terrell Pryor. And now they're having favorites against a quarterback who's undefeated in Week 1.
This does feel like a WTF, wrong team favorite.
Yeah, that's the definition of a Chewbacca game. Like, it's wrong team favored. What the fuck? This is wrong. This is Dolphin smash spot for me. Like a 2-unit play, easy.
I'm concerned about the only thing that concerns me is that they're getting all the money, all the picks. But I don't know. It does seem weird that I would have expected Miami to be a 1.5 favorite, to be honest with you.
I'm wondering if by game time this line will flip.
Maybe. Could be. Yeah. Could be.
Yeah, so I would tell people get on this game ASAP. If you want the plus money, especially shop around with this number, you might get them plus money on the money line, or you could alt spread it and get the Dolphins -1.5 now at plus money, which might be the better move before the line flips.
You could. Yeah.
All right. I got under 46.5 here. No real strong feelings one way or another. I think Daniel Jones is that bad.
Yeah, I see it being close to 46. So, but under, I think I'd probably go under. A lot of running the ball. Not a whole lot of 2 quarterbacks trying not to throw 5 interceptions. That makes sense.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Final 1 o'clock game. It's a battle of the NFC South. I know we love to hear that. It's the Tampa Bay Bucks laying 2.5 on the road, -132 against the Atlanta Falcons. Home underdogs, +112, over-unders 47.5. Tampa, another team getting a lot of the money and a lot of the tickets, both at 73 and 75%. Oh, boy. Look, I can't tell you why fading the Bucks here is my plan against a Michael Penix who went 1-2 as a starter. I know the Bucks have lost 4 of the last 5 against Atlanta. They failed to cover 5 of their last 6 against the Falcons. But they were 7-3 as favorites. I just think Michael Penix is a serviceable enough quarterback when he did play. He's going to have rookie moments. He's going to have more rookie mistakes as this year goes. My concern here and why I'm fading the Bucks, I just don't know how Baker Mayfield's going to be without Liam Cohen. Although, I mean, he's gone from coach to coach, coordinator to coordinator, and he's looked, roughly about the same. So maybe my argument's for nothing. He still has Mike Evans at the helm. I mean, they're going to have their weapons. I just don't know if Liam Cohen was the answer for why Baker was looking so good or whether it was just Baker Mayfield. And until I get that answer, I'm not sure I just want to blindly follow him with my money. I'd rather take a chance on a spot where the team usually wins outright or they usually at least cover. Falcons 1-6 straight up in Week 1 games since 2018, so that does give me some pause. But I think the Falcons are just quietly improving. They're quietly getting better. They made a tough call last year with Kirk Cousins and benching him, but it may or may not have been the right call. We're going to find out. But not a big play, but I'm going Atlanta here plus the points.
Yeah, this would have been one of my best plays, except the stats are really against it. And I'm really – I think I lost money on this matchup last year because I was all over Tampa against Atlanta. But I'm still on Tampa against Atlanta because I just think Tampa Bay is the better team. You got a better quarterback. I'm not sold on Penix. Penix was okay. It wasn't great. I don't know. Atlanta just seems like a team that's always supposed to be good, and they never really are good. I just think Tampa's the cream of that division. I think they're the best team. I think they're probably going to win the division again. And if you like Tampa Bay to win the division, this is probably a game that they should win. They're small favorites. I don't know. I think Tampa probably shouldn't be a 2.5-point favorite against Atlanta. I think they should probably be over a field goal. So I like the number I'm getting. I'm going with Tampa here. I think Baker's the better quarterback. I think he'll be fine with the coordinator shift. We've seen that before. And I just don't know. I mean, they didn't play Penix at all in the preseason. I don't think he's all that good. I'm not sold on Atlanta. I'm down on Atlanta. So give me the Bucks.
I'm like neutral on Atlanta, and right now I think I'm just down on Tampa, which is why I'm going with the it's one of those spots where every time we talk about it, it makes sense to bet the Bucks. And then we watch the game and we're like, wow, Tampa's literally going to give this game away to Atlanta, and then they do.
Yeah, that's true.
We've seen it time and
like
time.
I said, two times last year.
And then I'm trying to find, come on, odds and trends. There we go. And I was going to say, this is going to actually be my over of the week. Yeah, because I think even with that, Tampa last year, one of two things would happen. Either they would go up and score 24, 25 a game, or they would give up 25, 30 to the opponent. And I think in this high divisional matchup, I think they're going to actually go for it. I think Bijan Robinson himself could have a game against this Bucs defense. So I really like the over 46.5 here. I think that's relatively low for this rivalry. These two usually go gunslinging. They go head to head.
Yeah, I would think over in this game. Makes sense. These teams score a lot, and I think you could expect if there's a weakness of Tampa, it's going to be on the defense. So I think you can see some points.
Yep. And then I'm just going to get this banner up real quick. Over under 46.5, or sorry, now it's 47.5. But yeah, if it goes down to 46, definitely hit that over. Yeah, Falcons with the over might be a play as well. Get some extra juice in there. We'll see. All right, 4:00 slate. It is the Tennessee Titans and the debut of Cam Ward. They are going up against the one and only my Denver Broncos at home in Power Field.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Broncos are laying half at home. Minus 420 on the money line. Titans are plus 330. The over-under is 42.5. Broncos, 91% of the money, 75% of the tickets. Normally I would go, but I think I just went first last time. So Mansman.
Oh, dude. This is my dog. No, I'm just kidding. No. Denver is gonna, and I think Denver is a team that's due for a regression just because I don't know if Bo Nix is, Bo Nix looks like a quarterback that could have a sophomore slump, but no, I think Denver cruises in this game. Really tough defense on the road, passionate fan base. Cam Ward, I don't know. We'll see what he is. I don't give a lot of stock in preseason. Everybody looks okay in the preseason unless you're really bad. So, I'm not going to take any stock there. I'm curious to see what Cam Ward looks like, but this is going to be a tough game. Denver's defense should still be very good. I think they'll be fine. This is actually my under of the week.
Ooh.
Because I see Denver's defense really clamping down in this game. I think Cam Ward's going to have a lot of problems. And this, to me, looks like a game. I'm expecting a 24-3, 26-3. Denver kicks a lot of field goals, keeps it nice and safe, and just cruises to I think, a very easy win. I think you're going to be very happy because I see Denver manhandling Tennessee in this game. I think this is a really tough spot for Cam Ward in his debut.
Fair enough. Yeah, with that said, for my handicap, this is going to be my best bet.
Yep.
Best bet, Denver minus 7.5. Which, by the way, I don't normally advertise making your favorite team your best bet. You tend to get double the heartache when it goes wrong. But look, it's Cam Ward game debut against one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL, who was literally running it back with the same personnel. Rookie quarterback debuts, they're now 3-11 and 1 straight up since 2016. Brian Callahan is a head coach, went 3-14 last year with Will Levis and Mason Rudolph. And if Denver was really good at one thing last year, it was beating the shit out of really bad teams. They beat New Orleans on Thursday night. They beat the Chiefs backups on week 18. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Colts. They beat the Falcons too when Kirk Cousins was leading it. But the Broncos have actually been really good as covering as favorites under Sean Payton. They're 11-5-1 ATS since 2023. 9 straight up in ATS. The Titans, meanwhile, they're only 3-13, 4-12 ATS as road underdogs. I think not only Cam Ward game debut was bad, I think Cam Ward having to go to Mile High for a game debut against that defense is a real bad start. I don't see a world where Cam Ward's going to really tear this defense up, or even if he does have a good performance, Sean Payton will write a game plan and he'll take it over real fast, hopefully. And I'm not the biggest Sean Payton fan, but this is the type of game I think Sean Payton just excels in. Plays it safe, like you said. It could be a 33-6, 33-9 type of game with 6 field goals. So, yeah, Denver Broncos, best bet, minus 7.5.
I agree. This would be my second choice for best bet. Like, this would be my number 2 pick after Arizona. I think this is I think there's going to be a Denver-Arizona parlay for about like 5 to 10 units. Like,
ooh,
I think that's just could be guaranteed money. So.
I may have to corp with you on that one. That could be the court parlay.
Could be.
We'll see.
We'll see.
All right. Next 4:00 game. We got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Seattle Seahawks as 2.5-point road favorites, minus 136. Seahawks are plus 116 on the money line, now being led by Sam Darnold, Big Dick Sammy, and over-under is 43.5. The Niners are getting 72% of the money. They're getting 67% of the tickets. Look, this is what I call a flowchart game. I would say Shanahan owns the Seahawks, but I just really find it rare that the Hawks get one over on the Niners lately. Last year's injury pileups finally caught up to them. They still only lost by 3. And the Niners only lost by 3. Now the Seahawks are going from Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. They now have a new offensive coordinator in Clint Kubiak, Sam Darnold, an aging Cooper Kupp. Your wide receiver 3 is Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And I know the Niners got rid of Debo, but they haven't fared well without him historically. But I think they've learned that between Juwan Jennings and everyone else they obtained within the last 2 seasons, they can replace him. They can get back to more traditional West Coast offense that I know Kyle Shanahan would like to run without the trick runs with Debo. Seattle under Mike McDonald just seems like they're gritty road warriors, but when they're at home, they're a bit suspect. Like, they beat Denver week 1 last year, which I'm starting to think isn't aging well. One big win against the Miami Dolphins, and then they pretty much lost every home game except for Arizona. And I think with the decrease in personnel quality, I think just with the history of that, I'm going to go ahead and back the Niners here. I think with them being healthy again will play a bigger factor. And, Shanahan kind of owns the Seahawks at this point, so I'm rolling with it.
Yeah, I'm low on the Niners, although I think people's love of the Niners is starting to fade away anyway. But I mean, you really said the handicap. A lot of changes, a lot of differences in personnel. It's going to be real tough week one to get everything together. And, the game probably should be a 2.5 point game. I'm a no bet. That's my play for this game is nothing because I don't like the NFC West to begin with. And certainly, me, my NFC West division games are never a favorite for me. I think this is a tough 4 o'clock slate, honestly, other than the Denver game. Yeah, I think San Francisco's probably the right side, but tough play. It's gonna be a tough game for Seattle here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough especially with a healthy Christian McCaffrey coming back. I think a lot of people forget. C-Mac, real quick, C-Mac comeback player of the year, not off the table.
No. If he's healthy, he could be. It's gonna be curious to see what the receiving core looks like. That's the big question.
I think they'll be fine, but all right, 4:30 Fox game of the week. Detroit Lions coming off that terrible loss to the Commies in the NFC divisional round. 2.5 point underdogs plus 120. They're going to Lambeau. They're taking on the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love minus 142 for the Pack. Over under is 47.5 in Detroit. Big bettors favorite. 75% of the money, 73% of the tickets. Oh boy. Mansman, I don't know what I'm missing here. I have an angle, but I need your thoughts because I could not get around to this one.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels a little trappy, to be honest with you, because it feels like the Lions have been the best team, and they've been a covering machine. Actually covered the last 9 against the NFC on the road, and they beat Green Bay twice last year. I don't know. I got a weird feeling about this one. I think Green Bay is going to get it done. I think it's team wise. I think Green Bay's defense should be good. I think I think their offense will be okay. I'm not the Jordan Love, MVP Jordan Love guy, but I don't think I need that. They have some receivers. They have Croft, the tight end, and they could just run the ball with Josh Jacobs. I actually think Detroit's defense is going to take a step back. I know they had some injuries at the end of last year. It's a tough one. I think it'll be close. I'm not writing the Lions off. I think it's going to be a great game. It's going to be fun. I just think Detroit won both games last year. I think Green Bay is going to be looking for some vengeance. Give me Green Bay here. Close game. I think it's trappy. It feels like the bet they want you to bet Detroit plus the points, and I think it feels like a trap to me.
I might fall for the trap then. I'm taking Detroit. Dan Campbell 6-2 against the Packers, 3 straight in Lambeau, undefeated. Although you could be right, this could be I don't know. This could be the 26-24 game where Green Bay gets Brandon McManus out to the 55 and they win it. And they get over the hump. But Dan Campbell, week 1, is not a guy I want to bet against usually. I think his first season as a head coach was the only week 1 game he's lost. Usually he comes out pretty strong to start the season. Green Bay last year, if I remember correctly, they played Chicago. It wasn't Chicago, was it? Week 1, they fell. Oh, no. They played the Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. Lost that one, but kept it close. So, I mean, it's very possible that Green Bay comes out too for this one early in the summer. I personally, for this year, I had these two teams splitting their matchups, but I kind of have it awkwardly where I think Green Bay could go into Detroit and win. And then Detroit is going to go into Lambeau, win week 1, get a good start to the season. But yeah, you're right though. Very trappy, very, very weird that the Lions are now 2.5. I think it was a pick 'em earlier to open. But now Green Bay does have Micah Parsons. I don't know how much of a difference that's going to make yet.
He may not even play. He's going to try and play. He may not even play. That has nothing to do with the pick. I don't know. It just feels like it's a trappy spot and, a tough game. I'm not going to be running to the counter to bet it per se, but I don't know. I got a weird feeling about this one. I got a weird feeling that this is Green Bay's to lose.
Detroit might be a teaser team for me. I may tease them up to 8.5 in a parlay.
I find no fault with your reasoning. I think it's going to be a close game regardless.
Yeah. All right. Last 4:30 game. Houston traveling as 2.5-point dogs, plus 120. They're going to SoFi Stadium, the LA Rams, minus 142. Over-under is 44.5. Rams getting 51% of the tickets, 55% of the money. We're pretty split here. This is the other non-conference matchup. God, like this to me was the trap game for me, like in terms of dogs. I feel like they're just waving the 2.5 for the Texans and they're begging people to take it. And I think that's why it's only so close. I know the Rams lost Cooper Kupp, but they kept Kyron Williams. They still have Puka Nacua. I know their defense I still have a lot of questions on, but I've got more questions on what CJ Stroud is this year.
Mm.
I mean, there was a series. I think there was quietly like a statistical regression right after Diggs got hurt, after Tank Dell, I think, got hurt again. Or no, it was Nico Collins when he went out. And now they're saying Joe Mixon. They're saying he may not. I don't think he's starting this year. I think Nick Chubb will be there. I don't know what he's going to look like. And this to me just seems like a game, Rams week 1, Rams against the AFC. Like, I'm going to give the Rams a shot at this one at minus 2.5. Try not to overthink it. But, Mansman, do you have any other thoughts? Am I missing anything?
This may be one of the toughest week 1s that I can remember. I mean, these games are brutal because this is another one that I don't know. Like, my initial thought is, I don't know. I feel like Houston's the better team, but they have so much change in that offense. I don't know what to expect from this Houston Texans team. What are you going to get from CJ Stroud? What are you going to get from their receiving core? They have a lot of change. I mean, I don't know. I think the more I think about it, the more you're probably right. I think in a game like this, to start the year, you got the Rams at home. I think the Rams are probably more consistent. I think I'm going with the consistent team because I don't know what you're going to get from Houston, to tell you the truth. I don't know what CJ Stroud's going to look like. I don't know what their receiving core is going to look like. Yeah, I think I go with the Rams here.
Yeah. What do you make of the over-under real quick at 44.5? I mean, that just seems like another trappy line of 24.5.
I think I'm just going to not think too much about it and just go over because it feels like It's a game that should be over. I think the Rams will be able to score, and Houston may need to score to catch up. So I'm just going to close my eyes and hit an over and hope for the best.
Fair enough. I'll give you the last few home games for the Rams against the AFC. They beat Buffalo 44-42. They beat the Patriots 28-22. They lost to the Dolphins 15-23. I think that was Monday night. They beat the Raiders 2015, and then they beat the Browns 36-19, lost to Pittsburgh 17-24. So, yeah, again, the Rams, still a tough read on their end as well, but yeah, close my eyes, go over. I think I'm with you on that. All right, Monty Mansman, Sunday night football. Hopefully the fake Lamar Jackson fan will be in attendance.
The Bills make me wanna shout, kick your heels up and shout, throw your hands up and shout, throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills.
Going to Buffalo last season, What is it? Is it Highmark? What do you guys call
Highmark,
it
the last ever home opener at Highmark Ralph Wilson Stadium.
Whew. And we got to pick them here to take this one on Sunday night. Both teams minus 108 on the money line. Ravens plus 1.5, minus 122. Bills minus 1.5 is plus 100. The over-under set at 50.5 now, so it dropped 2 whole points from this morning. Ravens getting 75% of the money and 68% of the tickets. It's your team. I give you the honors, but I kind of know where you're going with this, so hopefully you have a full narrative to give out to the people.
Well, I can't play it, but dog of the week, Baltimore Ravens plus 1.5.
What?
There's no look. I'll be real simple. The Bills just lost another defensive tackle to injured reserve. They have 2 linemen on suspension. Their secondary, Trey White, may or may not play. Their defense is in shambles. They looked horrible in the preseason, but I'm not gonna factor that in. Really, their defense is injured. I don't think their defense is going to be good in general. I think the Ravens will start out the year strong. Basically the only chance of the Bills is we're going to have to outscore the Ravens. And I don't know. This just seems to me, it's like, this feels like a game the Ravens are going to need to win more than the Bills. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I just think Baltimore is going to come in pissed. The Bills' defense is not healthy already. I think we're really going to struggle. Our only hope is for MVP Josh to throw for like 354 touchdowns. We've never been able to stop Derrick Henry in the regular season. We got a lot of rookie defensive tackles we got a young interior D line. It's going to be tough. I don't have high hopes for this game, buddy. This is my dog of the week. The Ravens should be the favorite in this game based on the Bills' injuries. Wrong team favorite. Ravens should be the favorite. Ravens are going to win this game.
Wow. Oh, man, that is shocking. I thought you were all over Buffalo.
Well, Bills have been good at home. The Bills have been good at home. They are good at home. But
yeah. I'll give you this. I'm going to give you a quick player prop that I really am high on this for this game. Lamar Jackson, anytime touchdown, 2-1.
Yep, I think so too.
Okay, now getting into my handicap. Look, last year I faded Lamar Jackson in prime time. I got super lucky that tight end Isaiah Likely was wearing dark colored cleats that night, because otherwise that would have been a bigger nail biter in week 1. But I did that last year under the guise of that they went against Mahomes in prime time in week 1, and he's the only one that does it better. This year it's the Bills.
Sunday Night Football Lamar. Primetime Lamar.
Yeah, it's primetime Lamar against a Bills team that I'm not a fan of betting in primetime. Unless the Bills are playing teams named the Jets or Dolphins, I don't know if I want to take them in primetime. And, primetime Lamar, he's 19-5, 12-4 ATS as road underdogs. 6 straight Sunday Night Football wins, especially with one of those last year against the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, I remember.
I know, we were there. And yeah, this year, I'm not fading Lamar this time. I'm taking him in the Baltimore Ravens plus 1.5 against the Bills in the season opener. And look, the major revenge factor game is there, but my concern on the defense side, it's not really the injuries. I'm just wondering, what did they replace it with? You picked up Jordan Poyer again and Tre'Davious White. That's cool. You let Dane
Jordan
Jackson.
Poyer is a third-string practice squad player.
Yeah, you let Dane Jackson go. Are any of them stopping Derrick Henry now?
Cole Bishop. We got Cole Bishop.
Well, Joey Bosa might be the new Von Miller type of deal where he gets burned on third downs. But the Ravens also have the ghost of Nuke Hopkins and Jair Burnt Toast Alexander. I don't think they make a difference either. And Going back to your concerns about that Bills defense and their injuries, I know Josh Allen tends to get off to slower starts as well. I don't know how you feel about this because I wrote this at 52.5 and it's now dropped 2 points. So I don't know if I need to hit it or if I should just wait and at the flip side, but this was my under of the week at 50.5 points. Oddly enough, Josh Allen and the Bills, 13-2 to the under against AFC North teams going all the way back to 2019. Averaging about 23 points in those 10 home games. Shockingly enough, though, in that same argument, the Bills only gave up 16 points per game to opponents of the AFC North.
I don't think they're gonna. I think you'd look at Ravens over because I think the Ravens could put up a 30 spot in this game. My only fear, I guess, I would probably. I guess the question is, are the Bills going to score? Because this could be another 33-10 game like it was the last time, and we know the Bills in the fourth quarter, Mitch Trubisky will be out there. Like if it's, if this game gets out of hand and it's 30, here's my one thing, and here's where I could get burned. Last season opener ever in Highmark Stadium. That crowd is going to be in a frenzy. Bills Mafia will probably give us the chance to win. And I hope I'm wrong, but just looking at it betting wise on the field, there's no reason the Bills should win this game. It could be Bills Mafia that swings it though, because it is going to be a crazy, crazy atmosphere.
I really wish we had gone. Part of me wishes we went to Buffalo, but life had other plans this year. We had our trip.
That is true. Life had other plans.
All right, last game, Monday Night Football. We got, I think, arguably the shit game of the week. It's the Minnesota Vikings, -1.5 favorites, -126, with J.J. McCarthy at the helm now. Traveling to Chicago, Caleb Williams, year 2, +108 home dog, +1.5. Over-under is 44.5 points total. Vikings getting 52% of the money, 55% of the tickets. I got nothing here. This is my no play. I really just can't because of J.J. McCarthy. But quite frankly, like Caleb Williams, he has to have a serious improvement this year. Like the talks they were having about him was that he was an immediate playoff contending quarterback. And he scrambled for more yards than he threw half the time.
I mean, to be fair, he scrambled more yards behind the line of scrimmage than he did.
Yeah. And this seems like another trap game where, it's so low that they're making you think about it, but I'm not going to overthink this one. I've seen Kevin O'Connell do it with Kirk Cousins. I've seen him do it with Sam Darnold. I've seen him do it with Josh Dobbs, the Pastronaut. I don't think I'm concerned as much about J.J. McCarthy as I once was in last year when they were talking about having him start. I'm not a fan. I remember J.J.'s year at Michigan, and a lot of it was handing the ball off. There really wasn't too much in the air that he did that really wowed me. But he's had now a whole year to recover. He's now had the whole offseason to prep. I think he'll be serviceable enough. And I think with the Vikings defense versus what the Bears are doing, I'll take the Vikings. So I'm just going to go with the favorite on Monday night for week 1, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So Minnesota -1.5 is the play, but I could very well miss this mark.
Yeah, no play, Bears. Why go with the Bears? Big reason, J.J. McCarthy, first ever start in Chicago. I don't really like that play.
That's a good point.
Money on Caleb Williams in primetime. I've seen too much. I've seen things, buddy. I've seen what Caleb Williams does. He separates people from their money. So I don't think. Who knows? Maybe as it gets closer, maybe I'll flick a chip on it just for fun. But
I think it's going to be a Monday call on what I do with this game.
No play for me, and I'd have to hit the under because I think it's going to be an ugly, disgusting Monday Night Football game. I do not think it's going to be a good game. So under 44.5 for me.
Fair enough. I'm right there with you. I got the under 44.5 one. Well, rookie quarterback and Caleb Williams mistakes. I can't really see too much happening here for either quarterback. Could be a really bad Monday night game, but that's it. That's all 16 games, man. We got through week one.
We can try to build
we're at an hour and a half. Building your best bet real quick. I'm just going to throw it out there because we did talk about it. Your best bet of the Cardinals, mine of the Broncos, plus 242 for both teams on the spread.
There you go. Look at that. I think that's a winner.
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to call the show. I got nothing left. Mansman, anything from you?
No. Good to be back, buddy. Good to see you.
Good to be back. If you guys do end up checking us out, thank you for tuning in. I'm Big Bucks Up Beta.
Money Man's signing off, and as always,
go win that motherfucking money.
Motherfucking money.
Have a good night.